is all 22 and a few film review, giving you guys the culmination of the 3-round series mock draft. Sorry I've been on a bit of a hiatus. 2 weeks before the draft, my body felt like it would be the right time to have a seizure and then get sick following the seizure, so I've been going through it, but I'm back. I'm still getting over the sickness, so if you see a lot of cuts, it's probably me just trying to save your ears from hearing me die or needing to go blow my nose or take care of something. So I appreciate you guys sticking through with me through it. So sorry about that, but we're back. Gonna try to get as much content as I can in before the draft starts. So without further ado, let's get into it. There's a lot of picks. Gonna try to rip through this. The Giants at 65. Their two first picks I had for them were Travis Hunter and Walter Nolan. At 65, given the board, I'm gonna go with Jonah Savaiinaea. Savaiinaea. Finally got the pronunciation. He said it himself at his combine press. It is Savaiinaea. Really, really flexible player. Profiles more as a guard, but played left and right tackle at Arizona. Really like him. Really athletic. Got really nice hand usage and pass protection. Resets the leverage well. Matches well. Not the best anchor, but his proficiencies with his hand usage and his ability to drop weights help his deficiencies in his anchor, or make up for some of that. Needs a little bit of work in the run game as far as moving people, getting in front of people. But I really like him in the third round, especially for a line that really needs multiple spots. He can go in and compete right away for a guard spot, maybe flex out to tackle if Illuminor or Thomas get injured. Really like that for them there. The Chiefs at 66, their first two picks were Michael Williams and Darius Alexander. Going to go on the offensive side of things here. Really thought of a Ariante Ursary, the left tackle out of Minnesota here for them. But Quinshon Judkins is just too good of a player to pass up, too good of a value to pass up at this spot. Really like him. A lot of these running backs, like I said in the last video, are going to fall. There's a lot of good running backs. It's a really good class. And it's much thinner in other positions elsewhere. So a lot of these teams are going to want to get the positions they need kind of filled in because it's more thin down the board. You know, you can be comfortable getting running back in the third or fourth and still getting a really good contributor, someone with, starting upside. That's what I think is going to happen to some of these guys. Quinshon Judkins at the top of the third would be excellent for them. The Browns at 67, going to give them the tackle Ozzy Trapillo out of Boston College. Someone who's played left and right tackle at Boston College. Absolute mammoth of a man. Really think he fits in well here. Jack Conklin is a free agent in 2026. Has had some injuries dealing as of late. Ozzy Trapillo gives you a right tackle long term, but also can fill in for DeJuan Jones or Jack Conklin immediately if one of them were to get injured. Brown's first two picks I had for them were Abdul Carter and Jackson Dart in the second. That's where I think they try to lean if they can't get somebody in the first. Really tough spot. I don't really feel comfortable with Jackson Dart in the second, but slim pickings at that point. When Shador and Cam Ward are gone, maybe they go with the Tyler Shook. Maybe. Raiders at 68. Their first two picks for me were Ashton Jeanty in the first, Savone Ravel in the second. Would really like CJ West in this spot for them. Really, really would. Also thought about Omar Norman Lott here. More of a pass rush specialist. I think he can defend the run. Really just a lot of projection with him. He had like 80-something run snaps this entire season at Tennessee. Don't think it's because he's a liability. It just had a lot of bigger bodies there. He is a little bit of an undersized 3-tech. About 6'2", I think 6'3", 300 flat. Somewhere around there. Yeah, it did not look like he weighed in at 315 on the field. But CJ West gives you really good run-down defense right now next to Christian Wilkins. Also provides a lot of juice and really strong hands in the pass rush game. A lot of flashes. He's not consistent at all, but if he hits his upside, that's a 3-down interior next to you. Really hope that Christian Wilkins can get some of that out of him. They really need someone next to Christian Wilkins that can play right now early downs. CJ West gives you that. The Pats at 69, they have gone Will Campbell and Travion Henderson. This spot, I really thought about Kyle Williams, bringing another receiver that has more upside than some of the guys they had there. But when you look at their roster, it's really hard to project them picking another receiver. Teams usually keep around 6 bodies at receiver. You know, if we're counting them off, you got Stephon Diggs. You just traded for him. You're not going to let him go. You got Matt Collins, who you just signed. So I don't see them releasing him when they literally just signed him this offseason. Demario Douglas has given you some really nice slot play. Don't think you're going to cut him, especially because he's a young player. Kayshon Boutte gave them a lot of reps last year over guys they put some draft capital on. So are you going to cut him? Don't really know. Javon Baker and Jalen Polk, you spent some late day 2, early day 3 capital on those guys last year. Are you really going to cut them? I don't know. I don't see why you would, especially after it's been only 1 year. That's 36 guys, and you still have Kendrick Bourne. So, like, maybe 7, maybe Kendrick Bourne's the odd man out. I don't see how you add another guy into the fold right now without maybe moving on from somebody else, like, sooner. I really do like Omar Norman lot right here for them, though. Christian Barmore, Milton Williams, you're investing a ton of money into those guys. Barmore, someone who's dealt with blood clots in his past, that's something that can reoccur. If they feel like he's, they're comfortable with him, they feel like he's healthy, this is still a really nice depth piece. But, if they're a little bit concerned, Omar Norman can kind of relieve some of those downs for him. If Christian Barmore has to take some time off, you're really not losing a lot as far as your rush goes. Really good pass rusher. One of the more day one ready nuanced interior rushers in this class. The Jags at 70, we've given Mason Graham and Colston Loveland so far. They really need safety. Darnell Savage is not a plus starting safety in this league. He's just not. You need someone with deep sideline to sideline range. Antonio Johnson I like, but he's not a deep safety. Kevin Winston Jr., someone that probably will go second round. I think he really should. I could see him even going maybe back end of the first, but safeties always fall. Part of the reason he's going to fall, he is a safety. He also only played 2 games this season, so it's a lot of projection. This guy's a really good athlete. Even in his junior year, he looked more polished as a coverage player than a Nick Emanwari, in my opinion. I really like Kevin Winston. I think the injury does make him fall, but super fun player, man. I really hope he goes second round. Would really help out that free safety spot for the Jags. The Saints at 71. First 2 videos kind of came before Derek Carr looked like he wasn't going to be here for the rest of the season. This is probably someone who they would more try to get in the second round just so you're safe. Every year we project these quarterbacks to go high. It doesn't always happen. You're not always going to have these 6 quarterback classes like we had last year. You think back to the Kenny Pickett class. Kenny Pickett, that class, everyone's like, oh, Matt Corral might go in the first. Malik Willis might go in the first. Will Levis is a surefire first rounder. And then Will Levis falls to the second. Matt Corral, Malik Willis fall to the third. This happens every year with guys getting kind of more hyped up. Last year was one of those outlier seasons where a lot of the guys end up going in the first. I don't think that happens this year. I could see these guys really falling to the third round. If Shook fell to the third, I wouldn't be surprised. If Dart fell to the third, I wouldn't be surprised. Milroe at this point, being really, really hyped up. It looks like he's a day 2 pick at this point, second round, early day 2 pick. I get it. Sorry, I need to fly through these picks. We're taking a long time. I'll get to it. I'll get to it later. Tyler Shook, someone who projects to be basically Derek Carr as his upside. So somewhat of a lateral move, but you're spending a 3rd round pick. It's not a lot of capital. You can get a newer guy, get someone else in there in a year or 2 if you really feel like Shook isn't hitting his upside. Bears at 72. So far, we've taken Omarion Hampton, TJ Sanders, and Xavier Watts. Violet Milam. Again, someone who's played tackle but projects more to be a guard, especially due to his length. but someone that he's not an elite athlete. You know, his movement isn't going to jump off the tape to you, but he has very nice feet. He matches around the edge surprisingly well for someone who isn't a plus athlete. And for someone who isn't an exceptional athlete, he actually does a good job in zone schemes. He's got good core strength. He's got good hands. He works over people well, gets his hands in front of people, torques them, gets his body in front of them. It's good positioning. Really like Wyatt Milam. A lot of these interior linemen, some of these tackles, are going to get taken a lot higher than their true value. This is a thin line class, and so a lot of these guys are going to get taken sooner than where they maybe should, because if you wait till the fourth, a lot of these guys that might be able to play now probably aren't going to be there anymore. You got to get line while you can. I think Wyatt Milam's perfect for them. Joe Thuney's 34. Jonah Jackson has dealt with a lot of injuries in his career. Get someone to really bolster that unit that can go out and play swing tackle if you really need them to be, need be. Really like Wyatt Milam in that spot for them. The Jets at 73. In the first, I had them taking Armand Membu. In the second, I like A.O. Maynor. Really love those picks for them. Going to keep going offense for them. A little bit of an offensive slaughter. Going to go Mason Taylor here. After you lose Jeremy Conklin, I know he's not the most vertical threat, but you need someone that kind of replaces the receiving role he kind of had there, and someone that could do it potentially a lot better. Mason Taylor has a lot of upside. Full size, 6 foot, 250 something. Got length. On his bench, he showed a lot of strength. He had over 20 reps on the bench. But in the run game, he comes in really high. His hands are out really wide. Not a lot of drive, not a lot of movement. Decent effort and knack to try to get after it. He has everything in the run. He has everything he needs to be a good run blocker. It's just really not there yet. But he can get there. And right now, he's a really, really, really nice ball winner. Can high point it, can contort, got short hands. Not the most consistent, through contact over the middle, which I don't like for tight end, but really good out, just going and up, plucking the ball, staying in bounds, great in the red zone. Not the best separator. I'm not as high on Mason Taylor as everybody is, but I still think he is a really good player with some really high upside. The Panthers at 74, Mike Green and Nick Emanwari were their first two picks. Going to go with Kyle Williams here. I really like Kyle Williams. He's starting to get more hype as the process goes along. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he went in the late second. I think he's more of an early third to me. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he went in the second, though. I could really see that. This guy has all the upside in the world. Not the biggest receiver, but he likes to go after and get that ball. He is a ball winner. He's got some of the best releases in this class. A lot of these guys in this class don't have a nuanced release package. He's one of those guys that does. Separates decently well. Just not really consistent. Not much of a run blocker. You see him take some plays off. If he can hit his upside, this guy can potentially be a 1-of-A type guy. It's just there's a lot he needs to work on in his consistency and some of his nuance in just bringing it down to down and being a little bit higher of an IQ type player. I think he could be really good. Adds a lot of juice that wide receiver core needs. Xavier Legette's got some juice, but Adam Thielen and Jalen Coker, not the juiciest players. Get some deep threat ability with Kyle Williams in that room. 75, the Niners, someone I think they would love for their scheme. Marcus Bowe out of Purdue, another tackle that profiles better at guard. I know it's spelled Mbo or Mbo. It's pronounced Bo. Don't ask me. Really like this player. Just loves to get after it. Really nice mover. Really fast, explosive off the line. Not a ton of strength, but just loves to get after it, man. I have a feeling that Kyle Shanahan would really like him. Can block gap and zone decently well. Needs to work on his anchor a bit, but there's a lot of upside in him. Something that I think can really flourish, where he's going to be on the move a lot, whether it's pulling or getting in those zone schemes that Shanahan really likes to run. Love that fit for them there. That's someone that needs a guard or even tackle. He could swing out and be a swing tackle if you really need him to be. Cowboys at 76. Interesting spot for them here. I know I haven't taken running back for them yet. First two picks were Tedarrell McMillan and Tate Ratledge. Still not going to take running back for them here. Savion Jones, someone I'm really high on. You just lost to Marcus Lawrence, who's a really big body edge. Someone that has the upside of someone that can win and play like a DeMarcus Lawrence. Doesn't see the game very well right now, but exceptionally long, has nice power, flashes the ability to win around the edge with agility and hands. Someone whose upside is just all the way up there is like a number one rusher. Just has so much to work on because he doesn't see the game very well right now. He's not very nuanced. He doesn't have a ton of playing time yet at LSU. But man, if you can get him to hit, you can get him to hit. I know they got Marshawn Neal in there that they took recently as kind of a bigger body guy. I think you need a little bit more than that to ensure your early down presence. The Patriots at 77, Will Campbell, Trey Henderson, took Armour Norman Lott earlier. Was thinking about, again, maybe wide receiver, maybe corner. I like Charles Grant for them in this spot. Kind of forces you to keep Will Campbell out at left tackle. But Strange, Garrett Bradbury, Mike Onwenu all have expiring contracts soon. Charles Grant played at William and Mary, but man, exceptional mover. Absolutely exceptional mover. Great feet. Can just get in front of people. Not the best mover at this point. His hands are very inconsistent in how he lands and the timing in which he lands. But the upside is all there for him. Someone who's got really refined feet, loves to get out and at least try to get in front of people, even if he isn't the best mover. Someone that can just fill in wherever they really need him to on that O-line. Do think they should double dip with how that O-line played last year. Got to get Drake May. Make sure he's comfortable in that pocket. 78, Cardinals. I have him taking Jared Ivey. Really big-bodied edge, but I think he profiles more as a 3-4 defensive end because he is like 6'6", 280-something, 290, and he doesn't really win around the edge. They just picked up Calais Campbell, who's like 38, another like 6'6", 280 guy who has actually played 4-3 end and 3-4 end. So you bring someone in who's got the same body type as Calais, someone who needs to learn the transition from being a true outside edge to a 3-4 end. I think that is a great mentor for him, someone that can take over that spot next year and, win in similar ways that a Calais Campbell does. I think it would be a great mentor and a great fit in that defense. Texans at 79. They took Josh Simmons and Jalen Knoll. Really love those picks for them. Using this pick to stamp my flag in, I want to talk about Damian Martinez for a second, man. Popped off on the film when I was watching Cam Ward. Popped off the film even more when I started watching him specifically. I really like him. I need to watch some more of these running back tapes because when you were a lot higher on someone than consensus, I think it is smart to try to at least watch some more film, not obviously just completely bend your opinion to what everyone's saying. But if someone you respect is like saying something completely opposite of you, I like to at least go back, watch a little bit more. And if I really feel confident in what I'm saying, and I'm like, no, I don't see what they're saying, then I'm going to stand ground. I'm going to plant my flag and be like, this is how I feel. But if I watch more film and I'm like, yeah, I see what they're saying, I'm not going to totally change my opinion on a player, but I might give him a few extra tiny points or take down some points, a little bit. I really like Damian Martinez, man. Someone I thought had some nice vision, excellent burst. Someone who ran a 4.51, who I'm not concerned about at running back, that had a 1.51 split, which was even better than, I'm pretty sure, RJ Harvey, who ran like a 4.44 or 4.4 flat. And you see it, he's got very nice burst. Excellent contact balance, loves to just punish people, loves to turn his feet, move forward. Someone that's not elite in pass pro, but scans, definitely tries to get low and fit up on blockers. Someone who's definitely good enough to give you third down snaps. Not an excellent route runner, but has nice hands and uses his hands to catch. Not a ton of concentration drops. This man is just a punishing runner. He's just always turning forward, always moving forward. And he has the burst to break tackles and then take it the distance or break away because he's got sneaky speed. People really have to come in and play tight and just kind of punish him. And then he bounces off somebody or has deceptive shiftiness and makes someone miss in the backfield, and then he's just gone and you don't really realize it. Don't think it's game-changing speed, but it's enough speed and enough burst that he can take the distance if he really, I wouldn't say like 80 yards, 90 yards, but like you give this guy 50, 60 yards, he can take it the distance. I really like Damian Martinez, man. I think he would fit well in this scheme. Someone who's patient, reads well. He's going to have to behind that offensive line. Really like that for them. Had to do that real quick. Colts at 80. Absolutely blessed that a Carson Schwessinger is still there at that spot. Love this player. Not the best at taking on blocks, read and reacting as far as the run goes right now, but the most fluent coverage linebacker right now. They just lost CJ Speed. You got to get someone that's Desire Franklin in there. I think Carson Schwessinger would be a great fit for that scheme. Someone you can play on third downs and feel comfortable with early. But you can't say a lot about a lot of rookie linebackers. So, really good pick for them. Colts. Just did the Colts. Bengals, 81. Oh, sorry, forgot to mention my previous picks for the Colts. Tyler Warren and Landon Jackson. Bengals, first item taking Kelvin Banks. Second, Jack Sawyer. And the third, going to continue to shore up that defensive line because Lord knows they need it. Vernon Broughton. Really like this guy, man. Really good early down run defense. Can take on doubles. Not always going to shed immediately and make splash plays in the defense or in the backfield, but not going to get moved. Shedwell's at the point and tackles well. Someone who isn't the most ready pass rusher right now, but he flashes some wiggle, some decent hand usage, and some power, so he has pass rush upside, even though if he might not be hitting it in, year 1, year 2, maybe even year 3. But someone who rotates early down is a really just nice run defender who's going to eat up space. They need that. 82, the Seahawks. They've had a ton of picks. I would love to make some trade-ups for them. I think they're going to be moving around on draft night, especially considering the needs they have. Needing an outside receiver, not a ton of those. Needing interior line in multiple spots, not a ton of those. I expect them to be moving around on draft night. But right now, I have them picking one of my favorite players in this class, Elijah Arroyo. Man, they need some juice in the tight end room. Some of the best route running, not Colston level, but I'd say he's a little bit of a tier below, definitely better than a Mason Taylor. He shows multiple releases, which tight ends really don't do. He's got bend, stem, snap in his route. He's got long speed to take plays the distance. This guy's really fun. Can catch outside the radius. Decent effort in the run game. He gets low and he lands well. And so I think he has even though he doesn't have the size as a Mason Taylor, I like him a little bit better as a run blocker right now because I think his technique's a little bit more refined. He's just got to get a lot stronger. Got to get better at driving. So it's not the highest ceiling, but you like to see the technique and the want. Just a really fun player, in my opinion. Really insane value, according to my board. Really enjoy him. I'll mention their picks. They've had a ton of them. The Seahawks, Trey Amos, Donovan Jackson, Prince Umayan, and Elijah Arroyo. Steelers at 83, Caleb Johnson. Their first pick was Shedeur Sanders. Did they have a second round pick? No, they did not, I don't believe. Yeah, Caleb Johnson. Really like this for them. You just lost Najee Harris, who's your Thunder back. You like that Thunder and Lightning rotation you have with Jalen Warren. Get another Thunder back who works really well in a Arthur Smith scheme in Caleb Johnson. Nice vision. Not ultra creative. Not over-end speed, but just really nice contact balance. Smart running back. Someone who's going to be really good for you on early downs and short yardage. Really like him in the third. I'm a little bit lower on Caleb Johnson than consensus. Still think he's a quality starting back. Doesn't have the best upside. Not insane in pass protection. Not really a super savvy route runner. But just a very, very solid zone style back. 84 of the Bucks. Jahad Campbell and Azariah Thomas in the second for them. Gonna go Kyle Kennard here. Kind of difficult projecting this spot for them. But you need more juice off the edge. And Kyle Kennard is someone that could eventually take over the role that Hassan Reddick is playing for them right now. Someone with a lot of juice off the edge. Just doesn't see the game incredibly well right now. And doesn't have a lot of run defense because he is more of a thinner player. He is more of a finesse rusher. Doesn't have the best base. But he has very good hand usage and he does try against the run. So, it's not like he's inept or a liability, he just gets moved a lot. He's got to work on his strength, on his pace. I would like him in that fit a lot, though. I think Todd Bowles would have fun scheming that guy up. 85, the Broncos. They've taken Matthew Golden and Cam Scatabo. This has got to be an interior line spot for them right here. You got to get Zach Allen some help on that interior D-line. Shamar Turner, best interior D-lineman at this spot for me. Someone that just wasn't extremely consistent in this tape. Gets moved sometimes, but he flashes some really quick swims at the line and ability to make some TFLs. In the pass game, again, rushes high, not always hitting home, but someone who flashes the ability to push the pocket, tries to win with some finesse, even though he's not the most athletic, but can against bigger O-linemen. Has a lot to work on, but he's a guy that could give you some early down snaps. You need more bodies in there. I think he gives you someone that can compete for some playing time right away. The Chargers at 86. Got to go with someone who can play on the outside right now. Jalen Royals. We've taken defense for them in the first 2 picks with Kenneth Grant and Josiah Stewart. Mike Williams and Quentin Johnston. I'm just, those are my long-term outside options right now. Got to get someone that can play outside. Jalen Royals does that, even if he's not like a really true X. Someone with short hands, decent separator, just overall solid player on the outside. Someone that just really boosts the floor of that room, and, they really need that. 87, the Packers have taken Luther Burden and Nick Scorton. He's probably going to get taken in the 3rd round, but someone who's going to be a starting nickel in this league. Excellent run defense, sticky, quick, loves to, try to contest the catch point and get his hands in there. Someone who just profiles as a starting nickel in the NFL. Just is a nickel who's also pretty undersized. So the ceiling isn't, exceptionally there. Positional value still isn't there, even though if I value nickels a lot higher than the NFL. Almost every single team in the league, if not every team in the league, spends most of their time in 11 personnel, which you want to be a nickel to defend. A lot of teams, their base is turning into nickel, even if, they still have their 3-4 or 4-3, 4-4, 5-1, 3-3-5 bases. Nickel is becoming the norm because teams are in 11 personnel so often. You need 3 corners or a nickel slot, a big nickel. Someone in that nickel role. You need someone. I know they have Keshawn Nixon, but Jacob Parrish is just too good of a value to miss on here, especially in a really thin secondary. Just try to plug him in somewhere, see where he's best at. Again, not the best fit, but too good of a player to pass up. I'm not reaching on any of these other corners at this point. Not comfortable doing that. The Jags at 88, like we said, Mason Graham, Colston Loveland, Kevin Winston earlier. 88, really like RJ Harvey. They're in a good spot to take a running back at this point. You could argue for some other needs for them. Maybe a receiver. We look at the receivers on the board. I think Xavier Shepo is a guy I'm comfortable with in the 4th. Someone who's still very clean, but you're 5'10" and he ran 4'8", or whatever it was. It's really, really, really hard to project him as someone who's going to give you a ton of production. Someone I'm not comfortable taking this early. Savion Williams. He's got a lot of size, got some athleticism, but he's not really a true outside receiver. Someone who's used a lot, like a Laviska Shenault. A lot of wildcat, a lot of schemed up stuff, a lot of screen stuff. Don't know. Like Torrey Horton, kind of more in this area. Still like RJ Harvey a lot at this spot. Travis Etienne is going to be a free agent next season. Don't think they're going to work to bring him back. RJ Harvey, really nice 3rd down potential. Good in pass pro. Savvy receiver. Will have some concentration drops, but he's got some decent hands outside the radius. And just a lot of juice. He's a really, really fun player to watch. Got some decent contact balance for his size too. Someone with RB1 upside. Texans at 89. They have taken Josh Simmons, Jalen Knoll, and why am I blanking? Damian Martinez. I'm sorry, I can't believe I was forgetting that. 89, I'm going to have them take Jordan Phillips. Was really leaning in between edge and D-line here. But they need some more juice. They need some younger bodies on that interior D-line with, like I said, some more athleticism and some more juice. Jordan Phillips does that. Just absolutely cut athletic guy. A little bit undersized, but his upside is through the roof as someone, you just watch him and he just looks like someone who plays interior line at the NFL level. Really, really like Jordan Phillips' upside, especially this late in the third. I think that's someone worth taking a chance on. The Rams at 90. Was thinking about corner here. Again, a little rich for the corners, but the fact that there's not a ton of corners left on the board that you're probably comfortable taking, you might want to chance it. They have another comp pick later, so might try to look at that for them there. Really like Harold Fannin Jr.'s value here. Someone that Sean McVay would probably have so much fun using, if we're being honest, man. I have a feeling he would work really well on the move, doing drag routes, under routes, flat routes, just getting the ball in his hands and letting him go to work. I think Sean McVay would really, really like him. The Ravens at 91 do their best work when they have multiple safeties and are flexible with their secondary. You see them struggle when they have to pigeonhole their players into certain roles. They really like to move Kyle Hamilton from the slot to the box to the back end, Marlon Humphrey from the inside to the outside, kind of matching up. And that's why I'm taking Andrew Mukuba here. Keep loading up on defense for them. Their first two picks were James Pierce Jr. and Alfred Collins. Like I said in my last video, I think they do like their guards. I think they did say that they do like this interior O-line class. They like to draft in O-line. I think that's more of a fourth round need for them. Don't really know who you take at guard at this spot. Maybe if you're moving Cameron Williams, maybe if you're moving Jared Wilson. But man, Andrew Mukuba, I like him a lot. I'm a lot higher on him because not only is he so rangy and smart in zone coverage, I think he's the best zone coverage safety in this class. I don't think it's insanely close. Even though he isn't super highly sized, he's insanely physical at the catch point, loves to hit people. You see him disrupt balls on people like Colston Loveland. Like, he loves to hit in pass coverage. Smart, jumps routes, baits people. Not the best in man coverage, but he's not inept. He's just not super sticky, but he can play over top and rally down and tackle. He's got some decent tackle technique for his size. Like I said, he loves to come in and hit. He likes to come in and fill in on the run, even though if he is going to get moved by blockers, likes to come in, fit off the edge, make some plays. Really, really like Andrew Mukuba. They have Ardarius Washington and Kyle Hamilton. Outside of that, Sinisa Kane, Bo Brady, sixth round pick and a UDFA. You got to get another guy you're really comfortable with over the top to allow Kyle Hamilton to be able to be more versatile and allow Ardarius Washington to be more versatile. They like to play him kind of rotating around in more or less the slot. He had to play deep with Kyle Hamilton rotating last season. Get those guys some more flexibility. I think that's insane value for Andrew Mukuba here. Seahawks at 92. They've taken Trey Amos, Donovan Jackson, Prince Emmanuel, and Elijah Arroyo. A whole lot of names. They need a double dip on line, in my opinion. This team probably needs a line more than anyone. Not only the fact of they've had deficiencies there, but they have Sam Darnold, who looks shaky and struggles when he is under pressure. So you gotta improve that line. So he's not looking like he was against the Lions last season. Got to do that for him. I think you got to go center here. You already got someone who could flex outside from guard to tackle and Donovan Jackson. Get Jared Wilson here. Someone with not a lot of playing experience, but moves super well, would fit in really well in this scheme. Really like that for them. The Saints at 93 have taken Will Johnson in the first, Jalen Walker in the second, Tyler Shook in earlier in the third. They really need an outside perimeter receiver. They need receiver depth in general, but I feel like they really are missing that outside perimeter presence that they used to have in Michael Thomas. Get someone that could potentially do that for you in Torrey Horton. Really like the value for Torrey Horton at this spot. Someone with good size, good hands, tested really well. Flashes some nuances in his routes. I think the late third is more than fine for Torrey Horton. think that this could end up being another steal for the Saints. 94 with the Browns. We had them taking Ozzy Trapillo earlier. They had Jackson Dart and Abdul Carter. Thought about going running back here for them. Definitely could. I think if they wait too much longer, though, they're going to miss out on one of these corners. You got to get someone on the outside in that rotation. I really like their starters right now. I think Greg Newsome, Ward, and DeMcCary and Richardson are a nice trio. But your depth is really, really thin. Get Noel Williams, a full-size man corner, add to that rotation. Someone that isn't going to have to play a ton early, and that's good. He can learn behind some really smart, flexible corners that can teach him how to really see the game. And I have a feeling he'd be really, really good there. He'd develop really well. 95 with the Chiefs. Almost took Ariante Ursary earlier for them. He's still on the board. Love that. Someone who is a long-term plan at left tackle, moves decently well. His hands just need a lot of work. Needs some work with his eyes. Doesn't really like to get after it a ton in the run game, but he has all the size and the movement to be able to do so. Someone that gives you a backup plan. Jalen Moore is not a long-term option at tackle. And even if he becomes a long-term option and he plays really well, sick. That's really nice. You still only have him there for 2 years. Ariante Ursary, long-term option. If Jalen Moore doesn't really work out for you, don't really like what you're seeing there, this guy could start filling in for you. Hopefully not sooner than later, but get him a full-size true left tackle that I think in a year or two can be a solid to plus starter. 96 with the Eagles, they've taken Tyler Booker and Benjamin Morrison so far. At 96, I have them taking Oluwafemi Oladejo. Hope I'm saying that right. I'm pretty sure I have that right. Oluwafemi Oladejo. You need some juice on that edge. You lost Shot Sweat. You lost Hassan Reddick. Get some more bodies. More of the Hassan Reddick than a Josh Sweat. Not a real big body. People are starting to hype him up a lot as the process goes on. Someone who's talked about as a day 3 guy early on is getting a lot more hype as a round 2 guy, round 3 guy. I'm a little bit more hesitant. I think mid to late day or round 3 is really, really good value for him. I'm comfortable with that here. The Vikings have taken Malachi Starks. About it. Sorry, there's a real lack of picks for you. I really think they do trade back out of 24. Feel like they've got to. Unfortunately, it might make them miss Malachi Starks, but if you're getting Emin Wari, Xavier Watts, Kevin Winston, Makuba in that system, I think you're fine. Any of those safeties I think would work for them. They're very flexible with how they use their safeties. I have them taking Jamari Caldwell right here. Jamari Caldwell, fun player. He's like 6 foot, 340. Really, really thick nose tackle. Flashes some juice and power in the pass rush, even though it's not really consistent. But just a rock in the run game, not really going to get moved. Someone with a lot of natural leverage and ability to disrupt double teams. Really like Jamari Caldwell. They need more of a true long-term nose presence. I know they just brought in Jonathan Allen. They have Harrison Phillips. I'm forgetting about their third body there right now, who's also pretty decent. Can't believe I'm blanking. But it's an aging line. You got to get some youth there. I think Jamari Caldwell really helps, especially Harrison Phillips probably isn't going to be there too much longer. The Dolphins at 98. Jalen Ramsey's probably getting traded. I really don't like their outside depth outside of Jalen Ramsey anyway, which really concerns me. The Dolphins are in a tough spot, man. You got to get offensive line. You have to. Teron Armstead retired. You got that interior that they've had. James Daniels I really like, but he has injury history. They've been really wishy-washy in starting Austin Jackson in the past. And then you also need interior D-line because it's really just Zach Seiler and like who else? I hope I'm not getting that wrong. It is Zach Seiler. My ball knowledge isn't completely being lost. So you got to get someone else there, so that's a need. And then Jalen Ramsey is probably gone. It's like, man, they're in a rough spot. But Dorian Strong gives them a outside zone presence, even though if you don't want to play him in man or not much in man and not in press at all. A zone presence, someone on they can play on the outside because Lord knows they need it right now. The Giants at 99. I feel like you got to take Jalen Milroe here, man. I feel like you got to. I was hesitant about taking Milroe at the Savaianaya, why am I forgetting it now? Don't lose it. Savaianaya. I was thinking about him at that spot, but I really feel like I would have Jalen Milroe behind someone more long term. I don't think he starts next year. I feel like you maybe need like 2 or 3 years down the line, maybe like a Jordan Love situation. And Winston and Wilson are here on 1-year deals. If they're both gone after this season, I'm a little bit scared about needing to play Jalen Milroe. But Brian Daboll, I would love this fit with Brian Daboll. Someone that is creative enough to get him on the field and not just in sub-pack, or not just taking a quarterback off the field, but getting him in sub-packages. When you've got someone like Milroe, you don't want to take your actual quarterback off the field too much. You do it sometimes a game to get some creative plays, get some sparks, but you limit your offense by taking your true quarterback off the field. If you think about some of the things Greg Roman did with Lamar when they both had Joe Flacco and Lamar on the field at the same time, I would like them to be a little bit more creative than that. You don't want to use, sometimes they'd use Lamar as just like kind of standing there just to be a distraction. I think Brian Daboll could get really creative in using him in sub packages, using 2 quarterbacks on the field at once, even when he is the only quarterback on the field. And then maybe a few years down the line, he becomes a plus starter. We've seen Brian Daboll work with guys that don't see the game very well before and still manage to get victories out of it. So I'm confident that he could work with a Jalen Milroe and make that work. Really like that at 99 for them. Someone who is a lottery ticket, you got to get him on the field. Some of the best vision and ball carrying in this class. This guy is just electric. But he just doesn't see the game from a quarterback perspective as much as you want, nearly consistently at all. And that's scary. It's a little rich for me in the second, but I understand it. Like, he's probably going to get taken in the second. First, I'd be like, if you're taking him in the first, you might want to talk to him about playing more consistently outside of quarterback and then rotating in at quarterback, and maybe down the line he becomes one. But second or third round, I'm really comfortable with it, more comfortable with it in the third than the second, just because quarterback is such a hard position to learn, and he's got so much to develop on. Of course, it's not impossible, but I don't think it's going to happen in a year or two. The 49ers at 100, they've taken Jada Barron, Tyleik Williams, Marcus Boy, Jordan Burch. Got to continue shoring up that edge room. They need a big body edge for early downs. They don't really have another early down edge outside of Nick Bosa. Jordan Burch is a really, really big body on the edge. Not, again, someone who doesn't see the game great, but flashes real NFL power and a real NFL bull rush, even if it isn't consistent. And even though he doesn't see the run that well, he flashes some really nice base and the ability to take on blocks and shed. Someone that can rotate early for you, hopefully becomes a true starter for you. You're not really expecting it this late, but he has the upside to be able to do that. The Rams at 101, probably sad that Noah Williams and Dorian Strong are gone. I really don't think they go any other corner here. Cameron Williams, I think this is a really good spot for him. I like him late, round 3. Anything earlier than that is pretty rich for me. Someone that doesn't have a great anchor and is really raw, but moves really well, likes to get after it in the run game, fully lengthed, fully sized. He has the upside to be a true right tackle, especially in a scheme like this. He doesn't have to play early. Rob Havenstein's here for the year. Hopefully he can develop into something for you. If nothing else, he'll be a really athletic swing tackle. The Lions at 102. It's going to go BPA for them according to my board. Actually, no, BPA would probably be DJ Giddens according to my board. They don't need a running back. But gonna go Chris Paul here. A really high ceiling linebacker. Someone who, again, is, gonna be a theme of this round. Doesn't see the game extremely well. When he's shaded over the linebacker or over the running back, and he's able to flow with the running back, he's got good athleticism, and he can shade with him, and that's when you see the best of his work. Also really good against draws. He just sucks himself. He steps up really early, and that allows linemen to get up to him early, and then he gets caught in the wash where he's not really getting off blocks consistently, especially up the middle. But when he's against the draw and he's forced to kind of wait and be patient, he's actually really good. So you see the flashes of him being a plus run defender. But when he's not lined up shade over the running back, he gets manipulated by running back movement really easily, takes himself out of his gap and out of the play in general. In coverage, flashes some nice eyes. He really likes to try to match and snapshot, but sometimes he does stare too long. He doesn't have a great concept feel, so he'll lose people behind him. He'll miss some things. Again, there's a reason he's going back end of the third, but has all the athleticism, has the coverage upside, has the strength to be able to be a real three down linebacker for you. And that's the end of the mock draft series. If you watched all the videos, I really appreciate it. If you missed the first two, go back so those picks make more sense to you. I'm going to try to read out all these picks for you guys real quick. Bear with me. Cam Ward at 1 to the Titans. Abdul Carter 2 to the Browns. Travis Hunter 3 to the Giants. Will Campbell 4 to the Patriots. Mason Graham 5 to the Jags. Ashton JT 6 to the Raiders. Armand Membu 7 to the Jets. Mike Green 8 to the Panthers. Will Johnson 9 to the Saints. Omarion Hampton 10 to the Bears. Jahdae Barron 11 to the 49ers. Teddarell McMillan 12 to the Cowboys. Derek Harmon 13 to the Dolphins. Tyler Warren 14 to the Colts. Donovan Ezaraku 15 to the Falcons. Gray Zabel 16 to the Cardinals. Kelvin Banks Jr. 17 to the Bengals. I'm losing it. Trey Amos 18 to the Seahawks. Jahad Campbell 19 to the Bucks. Matthew Golden 20 to the Broncos. Shador 20 to the Steelers. Kenneth Grant 22 to the Chargers. Luther Burden 23 to the Packers. Malachi Starks 24 to the Vikings. Josh Simmons 25 to the Texans. Emeka Ibuka 26 to the Rams. James Pierce Jr. 27 to the Ravens. Shamar Stewart 28 to the Lions. Braden Swinson 29 to the Commies. Maxwell Hairston 30 to the Bills. Michael Williams 31 to the Chiefs. Tyler Booker 32 to the Eagles. Jackson Dart 33 to the Browns. Walter Nolan 34 to the Giants. Jaden Higgins 35 to the Titans. Colton Love 36 to the Jags. 37 Savone Ravel to the Raiders. Travion Henderson 38 to the Pats. DJ Sanders 39 to the Bears. Jalen Walker 40 to the Saints. Xavier Watts 41 to the Bears. Alec Ayo-Maynor 42 to the Jets. Tyleik Williams 43 to Ohio State. Tate Ratledge 44 to the Cowboys. Landon Jackson 45 to the Colts. Jack Besh 46 to the Falcons. Darian Porty 47 to the Cardinals. Josh Connerly 48 to the Dolphins. 49 Jack Sawyer to the Bengals. 50 Donovan Jackson to the Seahawks. 51 Cam Scatabo to the Broncos. 52 Prince Uman Mielen to the Seahawks. Azariah Thomas 53 to the Bucks. Nick Scorton 54 to the Packers. Josiah Stewart 55 to the Chargers. Dylan Sampson 56 to Minnesota. Nick Manwari 57 to the Panthers. Jalen Noel 58 to the Texans. Alpha Collins 59 to the Ravens. Trey Harris 60 to the Lions. Demetrius Knight 61 to the Commies. 62 JT Tuamaloau to the Bills. 63 Darius Alexander to the Chiefs. 64 Benjamin Morris to the Eagles. Into the third round, Jonah Savaianaya to the Giants. 65 Quinshon Judkins to the Chiefs. 67 Ozzie Trapillo to the Browns. 68 CJ West to the Raiders. 69 Omar Norman Law to the Patriots. 70 Kevin Winston Jr. to the Jags. 71 Tyler Shook to the Saints. 72 Wyatt Milan to the Bears. 73 Mason Taylor to the Jets. 74 Colin Williams to the Panthers. 75 Marcus Bowe to the 49ers. 76, Savion Jones to the Cowboys. 77, Charles Grant to the Patriots. 78, Jared Ivey to the Cardinals. 79, Damian Martinez to the Texans. 80, Carson Schwarzenegger to the Colts. 81, Vernon Broughton to the Bengals. 82, Elijah Arroyo to the Seahawks. 83, Caleb Johnson to the Steelers. 84, Kyle Kennard to the Bucks. 85, Shamar Turner to the Broncos. 86, Jalen Wills to the Chargers. 87, Jacob Parrish to the Kansas State. 88, RJ Harvey to Minnesota. 89, Jordan Phillips to the Texans. 90, Harold Fannin Jr. to the Rams. 91, Andrew Makuba to the Ravens. 92, Seahawks, Jared Wilson. 93, Torrey Horton to the Saints. 94, Nolan Williams to the Browns. 95, Ariante Ursary to the Chiefs. 96, Oluwafemi Oladejo to the Eagles. 97, Jamari Caldwell to the Vikings. 98, Dorian Strong to the Dolphins. I'm losing it. 99, Jalen Milroe to the Giants. 100, Jordan Burch to the 49ers. 101, Cameron Williams to the Rams. And 102, Chris Paul Jr. to the Lions. That is it for 3-round successive mock draft. All what I would do picks. As time has gone on, some of these picks become a tiny bit dated due to moves, injuries, what's happening in the league. But you see the different scenarios. I think all these picks work wonderfully for these teams, given all the team needs. Who's already been taken on the board. Let me know what you guys think down below. Do you like these picks? Where am I wrong? Where am I high? Converse with me down below. Like I said, I'm going to be trying to make content fly off the shelves here now that I'm back. I'm getting over the sickness over my seizure. Going to be trying to drop a top 50, maybe top 75 board. We'll see. Depends how many guys I watch. Get in near comfortable to where I feel like I have everyone that's going to be nailed down in the first 3 to 4 rounds. So we'll see. Probably not going to be able to get individual position videos out, but I'm going to try to get all the offensive ones in one video, maybe all the defensive ones in one video. Going to have the final predictive mock, and then I'm going to be streaming on the night of the draft. I know there's a lot of other streamers out there going to be competing with some really big names, but if you want to stop by, hear my reactions to certain picks, hear what I think, I'll be there. So thank you guys if you stuck around, especially through me naming those picks. I really appreciate all the support, all the views that have been coming in. This has been going a lot better than I would have expected, especially considering how late I came into the process. So I really do appreciate it, and thank you guys. Hope you have a good day.